Now it's time to talk about some 90s toys. Let's get into it. Hey, how's it going, my friends? Welcome back to the Nerd Life. In my last video, I talked about some of my favorite 80s toys, and in this video, I want to talk to y'all about some of my favorite 90s toys. The 90s were an awesome time to be a kid, and you had so many great toys, cartoons, TV shows, video games. Just such a great time to be a kid. Now I want to start by talking about Mighty Max. Mighty Max were these play sets that came with these little figurines, kind of like a boy version of Polly Pocket. They were made by the same company. There were so many fun play sets that I remember. There was a space alien, a wolf ship, a skull dungeon playset was really fun. There was also a Cyclops one, and then Dragon Island, which was one of my favorites. It was basically like this big dragon head that opened up into this really cool playset. And it came with like a little dragon figurine, along with all of them came with like little Mighty Max figurine, along with some enemies. But those things had so much playability. There was so much to do in those little play sets, especially the bigger ones. The bigger ones were more expensive, unfortunately, even back then, but they had so much stuff to do, like gimmicks and different things depending on the play set. There was one like really big play set that was pretty expensive called I want to say Skull Mountain. But yeah, it was like that, and yeah, it was just like massive playset. It came with about 10 or 15 figures. Had so many gimmicks and like different parts to play with, and just it was so awesome looking. I always wanted it as a kid. But yeah, the dragon one was my favorite one to play with. I just love flying around on the little red dragon that it came with, and knocking down the enemies off little platforms and stuff. It was just so many great memories with those play sets. If you haven't heard of Mighty Max, I'd say look into it, because they were really fun little play sets and very collectible now, and a lot of them are pretty pricey. But the next thing I want to talk about is Batman, the Batman toy line from the early 90s, whether it be from the Batman animated series line or the Batman Forever line, which I was into both. I had figures from both toy lines. I had a bunch of the animated series figures. I had Batman, the Joker, Robin, Catwoman, Two-Face, Riddler, and then some different ones from the movie Batman Forever. One Christmas I got the Batman Forever Batmobile, which personally was my favorite Batmobile because it just looked so badass. It had a light up gimmick where you mashed a button on the front of the car, and like this blue light would light up the whole Batmobile. It just looked so freaking cool. Had like a little missile launcher on the front of the Batmobile. That thing was so much fun. Loved fighting Batman and Robin against the enemies, and sometimes I would have the enemies fight each other. Like I would have Riddler against Joker. Just so much playtime went into those toys. Batman was definitely an awesome one. Definitely some figures and stuff that I would like to collect now. And moving on to another favorite of mine, which in the early 90s, this was a favorite of a lot of kids, but Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. There was just so many. I had a few of the figures. I didn't have all the Power Rangers. I had the green, black, and red, the flip head ones, and hold on, let me show you. This right here is what I'm talking about. This is the Green Ranger. This is one of the flip head ones. Let me show you the gimmick real quick. Unfortunately, I have to remove his shoulder pads. Basically, have his face revealed, and then you mash this button right here, this belt buckle, and so you can be like, it's Morphin' Time. And as you can see, this one don't work quite well anymore because it's old. But yeah, I just remember having so much fun with this. I dropped his dagger. That's so cool. But yeah, there's this one. I also had the black and red as a kid. But yeah, this is not my childhood one though. This is one I bought a few months ago. I actually did an unboxing video on this. Now now I gotta get his dagger. I'll get it in a few minutes. But yeah, man, I freaking love the Power Rangers, as some of y'all already know that. But yeah, there was I had some of the villains as well as some of the monsters. I never had Rita. I don't think I actually wanted a Rita Repulsa as a kid, but I had Goldar. I had a couple of the monsters. I think one of them was like a beetle monster, and the other one was a rhino monster. I can't remember their names. But yeah, so many great Power Rangers toys back then. The ones I had the most fun with though were the flip head figures and some of the monsters I had. I'd always have them battling each other. But yeah, it was just so many fun memories. But next thing I want to talk about is the Micro Machines playsets, which I had a couple of regular ones, which was a farm playset and an Armory Depot playset, which I had a lot of fun with. But the ones I enjoyed the most were the Star Wars Micro Machines playsets. Like, of course, the Death Star that opened up into planet Tatooine. Of course, that y'all know, if you've been a subscriber to this channel for a bit, that one's my favorite, and I actually just got it into my collection now. So now that's one Holy Grail toy down. I still got quite a few to get. But yeah, there's that, and then there were heads that opened up into playsets. Like there was a Darth Vader head that opened up into part of the Death Star, and then they had a Stormtrooper head that opened up, and it was a different part of the Death Star with the trash or the garbage compactor where they got trapped down in the original movie, and the walls start closing in on them. There was a gimmick there where you had the little figures in there, and you turn this crank, and the walls would start closing in. That was really fun. And there was also a X-Wing pilot Luke one that opened up and it was Planet Hoth. It was a Planet Hoth playset. I really loved that one. But my favorite was the Death Star Planet Tatooine playset. I absolutely love that thing. I talked about it in my unboxing of it a few weeks ago. But yeah, that was so much fun with that playset. So much stuff to do. There were extra ramps. There were little gimmicks that you would do. Just so much fun. But now, moving on to the final thing I want to talk about, and that is Beast Wars. Beast Wars Transformers were some of the best ones of the 90s, in my opinion. They were made with ball joints, so they had more articulation. than the G1 and G2 Transformers. They just more playability, and I love the fact that they were different animals and dinosaurs and insects that turned into robots instead of your typical vehicles and stuff like that. Nothing against the G1 Transformers, because I love those, but I also really loved Beast Wars. There was Optimus Primal along with his arch enemy Megatron. Optimus Primal was a gorilla. Megatron was a T-Rex. Two of the most awesome things in the world. And then there was Cheetor, Tigatron, Waspinator, Pterosaur, Dinobot, which was a Velociraptor, one of my favorites. I think that one, along with Optimus Primal and Megatron and Cheetor, were my absolute favorites. There was also Scorponok, and then they made other characters like Polar Claw. Just so many awesome toys. A lot of gimmicks, very gimmick heavy, like a lot of missile launcher type gimmicks, and like Optimus Primal. Even the reissue that I got has they left in some of the old gimmicks. That he had shoulder cannons that flipped, that spring loaded. It flipped up over his shoulders whenever you mash a button. Just so much fun. Loved playing with these as a kid. I loved the Optimus Primal and the Megatron were like pretty freaking big as well. Pretty big figures, about like that. But they were just so much fun to play with. Still a huge fan. Got quite the collection of modern Beast Wars Transformers and some of the vintage reissues as well. Along with Optimus Primal, Cheetor, Tigatron, Iguanus, Wolfang, and Pterosaur. Those are the vintage reissues that I have, and then along with a lot of the modern ones that's been released over the past few years. Beast Wars was awesome. Well, one of my favorite toy lines of the 90s. They came out in like 96, so it's getting towards the later half of the 90s, but still, I loved them. That'll do it for this video. Let me know in the comments what some of your favorite 90s toys are. Also, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank y'all so much for watching, and have an awesome day. Take care.